Meanwhile, Benjamin Netanyahu is all set to return as the Prime Minister of the State of Israel. His Likud party has now received over 1 million votes. He is set to be at the helm of the most right-wing government in Israel's history. The Likud party that he leads is in fact a right-wing party already, but he's now making alliances with other smaller parties that are considered far-right, even in Israeli politics. Now, the election results will be finalized by next week, but the votes have been counted and Netanyahu is now being touted as the leader who will, of course, be at the helm of affairs. His right-wing coalition should get about, it is estimated, 64 seats in a Knesset that has 120 seats, where the magic number is 61. His Likud party is expected to get about 32 of the seats, making it the largest single party. Now, any coalition that can get about 61 seats will form the government, and what is interesting is that in the history of the State of Israel, not a single party has ever managed to win a majority outright, but has always had to form a coalition to form a government. But this is not being viewed as Netanyahu's victory alone. Netanyahu is expected to lead the most right-wing government in Israel's history. His allies will be the Orthodox Shas Party, the United Torah Judaism Party, and the far-right religious Zionism bloc that, of course, includes the very notorious Jewish Power Party. Now, of these, the Zionism bloc will be the strongest after Likud, and one of its firebrand leader, Itamar Ben-Gvir, has been attracting a lot of attention. In 2007, Ben-Gvir had been convicted for racist incitement against Arabs. Now, Ben-Gvir is expected to demand the Public Security Ministry, and during his campaign, he had said that he would push for immunity for security officials when they are dealing with the Palestinian Arabs. He's also promised to ease Israel's defense forces' live fire directives. The incumbent Prime Minister Yair Lapid has congratulated Netanyahu. Lapid's party is the second largest in the Knesset. He's expected to lead the opposition, and reports say that the transfer of power is expected to happen sometime next week. Now, as can be expected, the rise of the extreme right wing has left people in Palestine very worried. The Palestinian leaders, of course, expect a rise in violence and are calling for greater Palestinian unity. And we earlier spoke with Lieutenant Colonel Avital Leibovich, who joined us live from Jerusalem, and this is what she had to say.
Netanyahu's term will most likely be his final and last term as prime minister. Therefore, I'm sure that he will want to leave behind him some sort of a legacy, something that will make the pages of history. And in that context, I could think of a few options within the international arena. For one, the expansion of the Abraham Accord countries. I think that it's not a secret that Netanyahu was a big supporter of normalizing relations with Arab countries, and I am sure he will consider even expanding the circle of these Arab countries during his time as prime minister. Additionally, the strategic relations with the U.S. are very important to Israel. Netanyahu chose time and time again to hold that portfolio of U.S.-Israel relations with him, without giving it to any other minister. I have reason to believe that this will stay as well. And if I'm looking a little bit globally, the great relations that Netanyahu was able to form with Prime Minister Modi, for example, with the former Prime Minister of Japan, with many European-friendly countries, I think these will continue to flourish and succeed. It will be interesting to see how Netanyahu will manage the tensions with Russia over the Ukraine war. As you know, Russia has a presence here in the Middle East, and Israel was always keeping an open channel with the Russians. But this was, of course, before the war. So it will be interesting to see how he would manage that. No, the stand will not change. Iran is a topic that unites all Israelis from whichever parties, maybe except the Arabs. really from the left side, from the right side, from the center. This is really a threat to our security, and therefore there is no political barrier. On the issue of the war with Ukraine, Ukraine is home to 250,000 Jews. Israel has absorbed more than 50,000 refugees from Ukraine since the war began. It made sure to speak out and explain that it stands by Ukraine and it is against the Russian aggression. And I think this kind of support will continue. I don't see Israel sending different kinds of military equipment to Ukraine at this point of time and with the new government, again, because of Russia's presence in the region and the need to continue and communicate it, especially when it has to do with Israel's security.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.